Name drop.
Ladies and gentlemen,
2,
man, woman,
1, 2, 3, go.
Child. Trishelle.
I'm the child.
Trishelle, what's your middle name?
Elaine.
Trishelle Elaine Cannatella. How does that make you feel when someone says your whole name? Like you're getting in trouble?
Yeah, no one really does. The only time I ever used my middle name is that I had changed I think it was like Facebook had to connect to your Tinder, and I didn't want people to know Trishelle because Trishelle is an odd name.
Yeah.
So I put my name as Elaine.
Elaine.
So that, yeah, people who matched with me on Tinder was like, Elaine.
See, mine wasn't as much my middle name, although the middle name did come out, is when it was the full name. Because my mom, Chris do this, Chris do that. It's when it was Christopher. That's when I was.
Then you knew. That was
shit.
bad.
Your middle name is Kirkpatrick. It's Kirkpatrick's middle last name.
No,
Kirk is his middle name.
Although I did think Danica Patrick was related to me for a while. I was like, oh, you know that girl Dana? They're like, who? The race car driver, Dana. They're like, who's Dana? I'm like, Dana Kirkpatrick. No, it's Danica Patrick.
So on your birth certificate, when you were born November 4th, 1979, you had, and so it's Trishelle Elaine
Cannatella.
So
Yeah.
you guys are obviously
Italian.
Yeah.
Siciliano.
Yeah.
Oh, you're Sicilian.
Yeah.
You have to say that.
Mambo Italiano. Yeah, Palermo.
Can you cook?
Yeah, I cook.
Very
I do
well, right?
all the things.
So you were born in Cutoff, Louisiana, but when you were in Cutoff, Louisiana, that's what's like, 30 minutes north of New Orleans?
It's like 45 to an hour south of New Orleans.
south,
It's
okay.
like as far south as you can go, pretty much.
Is like Cajun country?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you're probably the most famous person from Cutoff, correct?
No, actually, Bobby J. Abear. He
was a football player. Yeah.
Bobby Abrams.
Yeah, you-
for the Saints?
should know that,
Was he from
yes.
the
No,
Saints?
I was
Yeah.
just trying to test you. I would say you're more famous than him.
I don't.
What
think
has he
so.
done since the Saints?
Well, I don't know. He was
What
like
did he
on
do with the Saints?
He was a
Nothing.
He was a quarterback.
He was a
I'm just
quarterback.
kidding.
He
Wait,
was
by
on
the
the
way.
cover of
wait,
Sports
sorry, Bobby.
Illustrated.
I
Yeah,
Yeah.
Give
But
me
I
a-
mean, he went to school in
No, he's awesome.
in Louisiana.
He's awesome. And then there's a guy from like 90 Day Fiance, Jovi, and he's from Cutoff.
Are you Googling this woman of a certain age? She's right, by the way, because I did all the research on this.
No, I'm posting NSYNC content.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Right.
oh my God! Wow!
Right.
Wow! She's not even paying attention.
Not even
to her.
you. It's not even name drop content.
So you went to school in Mississippi.
Yeah.
And then-
college.
Where in Mississippi?
Southern Miss.
Southern Miss.
Manhattan.
Were you in a
Saint
frat or sorority?
Yeah, I was a Chi-O and I was a Kappa Sig Little Six.
Oh, shout out to them.
Okay.
What's your signal or what's your hand? Can you do the hand thing?
I can't tell you.
Oh,
No,
you
it's
can't
like
show us the
super.
secret
It's
thing?
super secret.
It's like a gang sign.
you can tell
Well,
us.
I mean,
it's just
it's
us.
like a little bit.
Just tell us.
Only, but you.
You would have to be like, it's like two hands.
Oh wait, I've seen this before.
Yeah, it's like
Can you hold my?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do exactly the whole thing.
Yeah, don't.
You have to like cover the hands like this, and then you do something like this, and then you have to do it too.
It's kind of
Like-
dirty.
Okay, but yeah, it's a little.
that's
It's
very
a little
dirty.
That's
but
kinda
then I have
dirty.
to whisper something in your ear, and I'm not gonna do all that.
With your tongue. Then I have to pull your
This is turned
pants
into
down and tickle your balls.
So were you going to school? Were you going to school when MTV picked you up? Because were you asked?
I picked them up.
You picked them up.
basically.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was in my last semester of college, and they had like an ad on the radio, guys and gals.
So it was a cattle call that you went
Yeah,
into?
pretty much. It was at the Howlin' Wolf in New Orleans, and I drove from Hattiesburg to New Orleans like an hour and some change.
Hattiesburg.
Yeah.
Lance is from that area.
What was your?
Who?
Oh, Lance Bass.
Oh,
Lance
yeah,
Bass.
He's in a band.
Lance is
Exactly. He's from
Clinton.
We have
Is it Clinton?
friends.
Hattiesburg.
Wendy.
I know all those little
Shout out
towns
Wendy.
in Mississippi.
Yeah, Clinton, I think.
yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I think Clinton.
So I drove down there and open casting.
Okay, well, you have to stand out from everyone. Like, what were you agreeing to do?
There was
It's
a
gonna be
line
Vegas.
of people.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are y'all waiting in line? I don't wait in line. And so I just like skipped the line. And I was like 21, skipped the line, and I went to the front and I was like, I'm here. And they were like, okay, come in.
No way.
Yeah.
That's how you got it?
Yeah.
So when did they call you? Like they said they.
Like 3 months later. Actually, I had auditioned for another show. It was like going to be kind of a road rules thing. It was going to be on the WB, or it's like CW. now.
WB.
Yeah, WB. I'm really aging myself here. And now, so the show got canceled, and then they were like, do you want to do the real world? So I was like, yeah,
Wow, it's a big one.
sure.
Well, speaking of the real world, this is where I'm going to get excited and talk a lot because
Oh, boy.
getting to experience some things that I've done in the last couple years.
He's lecturing right now.
I am totally lecturing. What was that like, having cameras on you all the time? I'm sure you get asked this a lot, but more importantly, how much therapy did you need? But it seems like you're kind of built for it a little bit, right? Like you have to be for those shows.
You can't prepare for that. So I went from being, okay, so I had been around a little bit of fame because when I was, this is such a name drop.
Oh, that's the name of the show.
I know.
We're ready for this.
Whenever I was in college,
Yeah, yeah.
I met Jesus Christ.
dated a guy,
What was his name? Brett
Mike
Favre.
Ienzinger from Incubus.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
He's
While
amazing.
you were in college?
Yeah.
Yeah, before I did the Real World.
Wow, you
Yeah.
were a groupie.
Well, I wasn't a groupie. I was hot and young.
Yeah.
I mean,
Give you a name drop for being hot
like,
and young.
lucky him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had met him whenever they were on tour with 311. And
From Omaha?
exactly. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah, people.
Yeah, lots of good people from Omaha.
Yeah.
Better than
Brian
you know.
McFayden.
Yeah. So anyway, I had been around them and like been on tour with them and everything like that. And then I did the Real World and they were like, "What?" Like I remember whenever my dad called me and because I changed my phone number and he was like, "Mikey from Incubus is like trying to get your number because he saw you on MTV." And I was like, "Oh, now." I was like, "Oh, now he's like tracking me down."
Did you get back together with him?
I wouldn't say back together, but we had a
Yeah.
We had a night on the
The
town.
one thing that I remember about your season was it was 2002 in Las Vegas. It was racy. I mean,
For
there was,
2002,
you guys did the sex on
yeah.
camera, not on camera, but like
Well,
it was
yeah.
related to the fact that you guys were doing
it was
sex.
on camera because like
Wow.
it was like in our bedroom, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like they had the night vision cameras. And
That
the
was
weird
the first
thing,
time, right?
Huh?
Wasn't that the first time that MTV actually?
It was the first time that they were really pushing the envelope where they were actually showing it on television, like a girl on girl kiss, me and my friend Bryn,
The sex sounds.
the sex sounds,
Sex sounds.
pillow talk, like it was pushing it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like literally, I had just turned 22 years old, and I had this conversation with this guy, and I said the number of people I had had sex with, and they put it on subtitles. It was kind of messed up.
Was it the MTV Chiron?
Now, did they push you to do anything? Like, were they like, "Hey, why don't you guys go over here for camera?" Or
No,
or was it just
and they
all
didn't
real?
have to. It was very organic. Yeah, I think the only time that someone ever stepped in, as far as like a producer, was when I was about to get in the car with someone who was driving, who was drunk, and
yeah.
he was gonna drive, and the guy was like, "All right." He's like, "Stop the cameras," and he was just like, "What are you doing?" He was like yelling at me, and I was like, "I don't know. I'm just trying to get back to the hotel." And he was just like, "No," and he gave me money for a cab, and
I was hosting a reality show. This is like in the mid 2000s. I won't say which one because you could probably say like who it is, but we were in the midst of like filming this like hot heavy scene where
MTV
the girl got-
Spring Break.
No, this was on the CW or I think CW. But they were about to cross those lines and they stopped production.
Jersey Shore.
Because one of them had herpes. Yeah, so they had to
Oh.
stop.
They, like-
they had to
Man,
stop. Everything
you're about
stopped.
to get herpes.
No, can you imagine? No, they had to interrupt reality, and I'm like sitting there in like the control room, like, what's going on? Why are all the lights up? This is getting really good. I'm like popcorn.
Wow.
But can you imagine? Like they had to you pull them in different rooms.
I wish that would have happened to me in real
Is
life.
that crazy?
That is crazy. You know what? And they do, like on the challenge and stuff, they do STD testing.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know that they tell people. I've actually never had sex with somebody on a challenge. Oh, I've had sex with people who did the challenge, but not on the challenge.
Wait, like, who did you sleep with from the
We're
challenge?
right in the middle of the challenge. Excuse us.
Excuse me.
This is a known thing.
I'm about to get herpes.
Yeah. And his piece. We're gonna make it crazy.
No, I dated the Miz.
Oh, yeah, the Miz.
wrestler.
Oh, the Miz.
Do you know him?
WWE,
I know the
yeah,
Miz.
The
Yeah.
Miz.
He's a good guy.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
My son actually, when he wrestles now, my son went to his.
He's 6. Nah, shit.
Yeah, not the Miz.
6 years old and he's
He's 6.
wrestling.
No, he went to the.
He wrestled the Miz.
Keep up. He wrestled the Miz. He went to the Miz, and the Miz lost, and my son cried the entire time because he knew that I was friends with him, and it really broke his heart that Daddy's friend lost.
Aw.
You guys, this is kind of funny. They used to call me in LA, my group of guy friends, used to call me the dream killer because when I dated Mike, I was like, "Are you sure you want to be a wrestler? Why don't you just like go into finance or something?" I was like, "We're gonna the bank. I was like, get a real job. I did not want to be a wrestler because I
As
was
y'all
like,
were in LA.
yeah.
But then I dated Justin Bieber, and I was like, "Do you really want to sing?"
I was like, is there
don't
any
think
money
that's-
in this wrestling business? I was like, no. And then he just really
It'll
wanted
never
to
work.
do it. Yeah, no.
So when you were back, so that's when you guys were all doing the challenges, but you got into poker. And you got
Yeah,
a ton of
still
famous
into
people.
poker.
I remember
Yeah.
because when we were talking, going like back and forth on Facebook.
Yeah.
Was it MySpace? When did we start talking like MySpace, Facebook?
I think
By the way, this is my crush from MTV.
MySpace. You see, you're
What?
my crush.
Yeah, my crush from MTV. Look at that. Yeah.
Well, good to knowing you guys.
Yeah.
Just gonna let this happen.
Right?
Wait, why is the producer coming in here? What have you?
Just, I'm gonna have to walk you out real quick. That's cool. Oh,
God.
So,
yeah, I think that it might have been MySpace, but then we did Facebook chat, which was like a thing. It was like AIM, but
It's like, hey girl, what's up? Trish?
iChat. Was it ever iChat?
I just remember it's like we were able to like go back and forth and talk.
I was like getting through or going. I
We're
was
always going through a
in
breakup. One of
Oh,
us.
so
Yeah.
he was
And then
rebound. He was like
he
the
was
rebound
my,
guy.
like,
He's
person
so
that
sweet.
was talking me through the breakup.
Did he sing for you?
No, it was like
No,
it
he
was
was
like
very
one of us
sweet.
was in a relationship or one of us wasn't, and it was always like innocent flirting.
Yeah.
There's nothing ever happened.
And it was very like therapy.
Therapeutic.
Yeah, it was like therapy. 'cause
It's
I
just
was,
like I'm crying. I'm like I got Kleenex too.
I'm crying because you're crying because I'm Brian McFayden.
different kind of Kleenex.
But I remember you were dating a poker player. And
Yeah.
y'all did poker, and you were living in Canada or something.
That's right. I was living in Montreal.
Yeah. And then you couldn't play poker in the United States. Or was there some crazy stuff that happened?
No, it was literally like we were dating for like 2 years, and he said, "Hey." They were starting to question the amount of time that I was flying back to Montreal at the
Yeah.
airport, and they pulled me aside and they were like, "We know you live here." I was like, "No, what are you talking about?" And they were like, "Okay, like basically we can tell you that you cannot come back here if we have reason to believe that you're trying to move to the country illegally." And I met with an immigration lawyer, and me and the guy were gonna possibly get married, but he owed like $600K in taxes because of all his poker winnings that he never paid. And they were like, "If you get married, you're gonna have to like file
Was it
paperwork."
Phil Helma?
No. That's a great
We're
guy.
going down the line with all the poker players.
That's the only ones I know. That's all I got.
No, but anyway, so we had to break up because like we
You were
couldn't
like,
get
I'm not
married.
dealing with this shit. And I remember that.
Yeah.
How great is that, though, that it's Canada going, are you trying to come here illegally from the United States?
Yeah, it was.
No, nobody's trying to leave the United States
I'll have
illegally.
to say, because we're going to get into Traitors in a sec. I just binge watched the whole entire. I hate reality TV because I've hosted them.
Thank you.
And been a part of that.
You're talking
But
about
I-
hanging out with two reality
tell you
people.
I know.
Big Brother, and I've been forced to watch these shows because we're your best friends watching it.
forced to watch
And then
these shows,
I got
yeah.
so into Traitors, I hit up one woman of a certain age. I'm like, this is awesome. I stayed up all night binge watching the Traitors. Congratulations, by
Thank
the way.
you.
Do you know what the
Yeah.
best to binge watch, though, is
that?
the challenge. It has a TV, it's got a network.
Oh, the challenge.
There's a network for it. I could put that on
It's Peacock.
and just
Were you
watch.
already a fan of CT and Bananas?
Big time.
We love
Yeah.
CT.
We love
CT
CT.
is
great.
my guy. CT
Yeah.
is like,
She's
met him?
bananas.
no, but I don't
He's
know how
great.
anybody could not love him. Like
Yeah.
he's like the guy's guy that everybody's like,
I didn't used to like him.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
When did you
very-
do that? So CT, I'll say this, and it's I'll blow a little smoke up your ass. That was probably what the final scene, the final episode, and the last scene where you guys are there and you guys won. It was one of the most genuine. I'm getting chills just thinking about
Yeah.
it. And I've been around television for a long time. Your on-camera chemistry with CT. If you weren't married to John, I would think that you guys were together.
People
it was the
think
most.
that. It's so
But it was the
weird.
most organic scene I've ever seen on reality television. You can quote me on that. And you can't help but get choked up because when you lost it, he was losing it, and then you all came together because you guys won together.
Yeah.
And it was great for all you MTV fans that are out there watching because you guys are the OGs, and these guys are all coming in trying to compete with the OGs, and because
Yeah.
you've been around for a long time.
People don't give MTV and the challenge enough credit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, there's a reason that we were the last two
Yeah.
standing. And so, we have like a lot of history. You know, like your MTV family
Mm-hmm.
too. Don't you feel like that? I mean, like you guys have, even if you don't see somebody for a long time, you're just like,
right
"That's like
back to
my
where you
brother."
were.
Yeah. And so I felt that way about CT and Bananas, even though Bananas is annoying as shit. But like, Yeah, I just sort of was like, I can love them and hate them, but I can talk crap about them, but nobody else
Right. How many of the challenges did you do?
can. So I did 5.
5.
Yeah.
And
but
that seems like that is something that really breaks you people apart, but also brings you guys together, because those
Yeah.
challenges,
They're so hard.
You need the other people in those. Like you're relying on people all the time.
Yeah.
So doing 5, you probably made a lot of close relationships in there that you can't compare to anything else.
And they film for a very long time. So they're filming one right now, 10 weeks. That's a long time.
That's a very long
And then
time.
you're living with these people and you're sleeping in bunk beds. So like you're sharing a room with
Are
them.
they still doing
So-
sex on the challenge? Are they still
Oh,
hookups?
people have sex. Yes. I did not.
That was a ding for who she didn't have sex with.
The one person.
Thanks, Johnny Bananas.
The crazy part is like you came into MTV when you were in your 20s, but you stayed with it going from your 20s to your 30s. Now you're
Yeah.
entering your 40s, and
You don't tell a woman's age.
I'm in my 40s.
beginning,
Let's
but-
go.
Let's not do it though.
we grew up watching you, and we grew up watching all these other kids on.
And you grew up in it.
Yeah.
Like you grew up a part of it. That's your family.
You changed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that was the thing about CT and I, is that whenever I first met him, I just didn't like him. I was just like, ugh, I don't like an alpha male, like big gross guy who's gonna be like working out during the challenge. Like, let's just go have fun. And so I didn't like him. And then now though, he's a completely different person. I have changed a lot. So whenever we had that one-on-one conversation in Scotland at the castle, I was like, wow, I like this person. He's a good guy. He's a dad now. He's a single dad. He's just like changed in such a great way.
Very likable.
Yes, he's so likable.
You think
So,
being a dad changed him? You think that's
I do.
a lot of it?
I really do. I think that it's a great look on him, and he just loves his kid so much, and I think that's awesome. Yeah.
Because Brian's had a kid for 22 years and he's still the same dork.
Yeah.
My
Like, it
son's not a
hasn't-
dork.
No, you.
What?
Your son's amazing.
Your kid looks so much like
He
you.
does, right?
Crazy.
He's a better version of me. I'm like very lucky. I'm a proud dad.
So
Just a proud dad.
handsome. Yeah. Is he taller than you now?
Yeah, he's 6'3".
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my
he's like
gosh.
super tall.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he gets you stuff like cookies from the fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I don't have kids yet, and so I'm like, what?
Do you want to adopt my son?
What age do they start doing things for you, like grabbing things for you and like massaging your
As
feet?
soon as
like,
they can walk. As soon as they can walk.
yeah, that's.
I think
that's
you
the
still.
kid that
I think you do stuff for them for the rest of your life.
No, they do stuff for
I
you.
want them to do things for me.
Because
Like
for the first
go
like
fetch
3
me
years,
this.
they're just like, you're just trying to keep them alive.
When you talk about good dad, he's an amazing dad. Every time you go to this house, it's like it's
The
like
best
romper
dad.
rooms, like 2 kids running around. One's called Carissa, the other one's called Nash, and his wife and I, Carly, just kind of looking back like, and there they go.
Yeah.
So
What's
you have
going
two,
on?
right?
No,
Or do
just
you have
one.
Just one? Okay.
One
yeah.
little boy.
You think you're gonna have more?
He's a baller.
Well, I'm old, so you know.
He can't have kids.
No,
I have
not anymore. I got
two-
herpes.
I had 2 embryos, and I'm like, am I too old to like have these
No,
What?
kids?
You're never too old. Never too old. Because
Yeah.
if you have that in you to be a mom, then be a mom whenever you want to be a mom. Whenever
Absolutely.
you're ready.
I'm pretty fun. I like Disney movies, and I like arts and crafts and theme dressing, so I feel like I would be a good mom.
Do you like to color?
Yeah, I like all those things.
Okay.
I think I would be like a great mom.
you can
So
hang
you
out.
have to
Because-
change diapers and go to school because your kid's in trouble.
Oh no, my
or-
husband will do all
Did you
those
ever
things.
change a diaper? Have you ever changed a diaper?
No.
Oh my God! You remember your first diaper you changed? Did you ever change
Yours.
yours?
I was like, oh, we were doing an interview, and I
That
was
was
like, Ryan, do you
uncomfortable.
smell that? Did I
was like,
take you to the bathroom?
Why do you sound like plastic and smell like shit?
No, but I think having a family, you know, probably changed him, and it does. There's certain things in your life, and that's cool that you guys got to go through that.
Yeah.
You got to go through it together as being the OGs.
Right.
And that was a time too. Tell me about that time, because we want some names now. We want a name drop.
Okay.
Tell me about those MTV days when you guys were on top of the world with MTV before like reality was thrown everywhere and everybody's got a reality
We are
show.
going back to 2002.
Oh, y'all remember
I'm Trishelle.
like the VMAs? That was
Oh,
so
yeah.
fun. And I remember my first VMAs. I did the red carpet, and like J-Lo was like,
Radio City Music Hall.
J-Lo was like, oh my God, like the real world, I love you guys. And I mean, everyone was coming up to us, and it was so crazy because we were famous, but we weren't wealthy. So,
Right.
I mean, I remember being like, oh my God, like I have to like get a cool outfit for the VMAs, but like they don't pay us a lot. So we had to like go shopping at
Forever
this like
21.
vintage and yeah, 579. Yeah, so we had to, I was like, this is vintage, which really meant that it was probably from the Buffalo Exchange or whatever. Like, but yeah, it was just a different thing because you guys made the money. I didn't, but I was recognized just like you guys. And so it was
And you
just
had to
interesting.
be on that level with
Yeah.
everybody without having the money, without having the stylist, without having those type of people.
Exactly. So it was a little different. But I had people reach out to me all the time from like on MySpace, like on MySpace.
I like
Was
that
it
you
MySpace?
were like the face of
It has
MySpace.
been MySpace. I'm
Yeah.
sure it was. Yeah, yeah.
You're more than this guy.
You know what's crazy? We never made out, did we?
No, we never.
That's so weird.
So let's change that.
There's always Saturday.
You know who I did make out with?
Who?
Caduce.
You met out with Caduce?
Oh, yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God, that is a blast.
I love
from the past.
Caduce.
Where
And,
did you hang out with him?
Damien.
God, we could be. What do you call that when you
Eskimo
you guys-
brothers.
Eskimo brothers.
Yeah.
You met out with Damien too?
I've heard that's what it's called.
God.
I was like on
Eskimo.
my little like VJ phase. I was like, I think
Where
I'm gonna
was
make out
I?
with that. I don't know.
I was there when you guys came out.
You were like dating Nikki Hilton or something.
Yeah.
I went through my VJ phase. I
We
went
made out.
I went from Jesse to David to Ray.
You definitely made out with Ray. Wait, shout out Ray.
out to Ray.
Ray, oh God, we gotta get him on the show.
We gotta get
But
Ray.
you made it. Yeah, you made out with.
Yeah.
Everyone.
I was like so into Caduce.
Did you make out with Pauly Shore?
No, I did I did spring break with him though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that look on your face.
He was interesting.
Yeah.
You thought about it.
No.
You were thinking that I'm making out.
We know her type. She
No.
likes the pretty boys, so like Caduce, Damien.
Yeah, Caduce is
Ryan
hot.
McFayden.
Yeah.
Ryan McFayden.
Yeah.
Pretty boy type.
Wait, who else from
From MTV, like I don't know. I was like
any of the rock
my-
stars outside of Incubus?
Oh well, yeah.
Pop stars?
This was weird.
Cisco?
No. You know what's an odd one? Adam Duritz from Counting
him?
Crows. Yeah, we went on a couple dates, and I remember this was so weird. Paparazzi like followed us to like the Coffee Bean on Sunset, whenever we were like.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and so we kind of were talking for a while.
He dated everyone.
By the way,
Yeah,
you know that a
he
lot of the
did.
coffee
Courtney
beans
Cox.
are gone now
Why?
in LA. I have no idea. I was just in LA and I was looking for a coffee bean and it was not.
Oh,
found.
that's so
Like,
weird.
I don't know.
That's
It was the one down on Hermosa Avenue.
Yeah,
Used to be-
I
That's
think
where
the-
everybody used to go to like kind of be seen. But you know what? He chose that place, not me. So maybe he
Barney's
wanted to be
Beanery.
seen. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, love
Yeah,
that
I
place.
like
Barney's
that place. That's
Beanery,
been to
too.
football games. Wait, did you? I had to ask this because you were in so much. We're getting into the reality world in a second. Did you go to that? What's the name of that bar? Was
Belmont?
No, Saddle. was it-
Saddle Ranch.
Saddle Ranch. You go to that? All the reality
Pretend
people.
Like, you know,
Yeah, I know.
Ranch.
Please go. What was the name of that place called?
That's where everybody.
Don't be nervous.
Girls, girls, girls. That's
no,
what
but
it
it's
was.
but I remember like all the reality people went there.
Yeah,
it was got to
because
hang out
we
for reality.
used to go there because tourists went there. We wanted to be recognized. It like fed our ego. So we go
Please,
there.
I was so
No
happy.
kidding.
That's
Yeah.
what everyone did. Yeah. So then
Yeah.
you would go.
And then a lot of reality stars worked there, and then they tried to do a reality show
Yes,
about the
yeah.
people that worked there. Yeah.
anytime you walked in,
Did
there
you
was
ever go to
somebody.
Miyagi's? Was Miyagi still a
Yeah.
thing
That
when
place.
you guys
Yeah, yeah.
Wait,
were?
I think maybe I met you back in the
That
day
was
at
next to-
Miyagi's.
Probably. Did
That was
we
next
make
to
out?
I didn't know.
Did you get herpes?
Trishelle on the latest episode of Name Drop. Trishelle makes out with the world.
Yeah, no,
was a kissing bandit.
Miyagi's was fun. They had a LAX back then. I'm trying to remember what
Yes.
was kind of
Spider.
the rainbow.
Joseph.
Did you go up to the rainbow? I used to love the rainbow.
I did. This
still
won't
love
age.
the rainbow.
This won't age well, but I used to be friends because I did Surreal Life with Ron Jeremy.
Oh, I wanted to get into
Oh,
that. Tammy
nice.
Faye
And
Baker.
he used to go to. Oh, I know.
Yeah, I loved
Yeah,
her.
he used to go to the Rainbow a lot. Yeah, Rainbow Room.
Rainbow's a fun spot.
It is.
That was one of my favorite shows, The Surreal Life.
That was a really rough time for me.
Was it really?
Yes.
'Cause you did
I was
such a great job in that.
spiraling so hardcore during that filming. It was really bad. And then Sally Jessy Raphael called me out, and like it was just terrible.
I
don't
gotta
know.
tell you, that's the first Sally Jessy Raphael name drop we've had on this
Yeah,
show.
it's a good one.
2 seasons in, and that's the first Sally Jessy Raphael.
That's Unfortunately, it's our second Ron Jeremy reference.
Oh God, I don't even want to know the first one.
Because one of the guys from NSYNC, was it you that went by?
No, Joey.
Joey went by Ron
Joey,
Jeremy.
we used to have fake names when we go to hotels because you couldn't go by your real name. So Joey went by Ron Jeremy somewhere in Iowa or something, and Ron Jeremy was staying at our hotel. No. So Joey was getting Ron Jeremy's calls, and Ron Jeremy was getting Joey's calls.
Oh my God.
And they had to meet in the lobby. Go, yeah.
Crazy. That's how big NSYNC was and still is. I did an MTV news story on that.
On the
So I
Ron
was like,
Jeremy
hi,
thing?
I'm McFayden with MTV News. NSYNC doing porn? Not quite. Then I went into the whole like Ron Jeremy NSYNC thing. So that was like,
There was weird. We had one time we did a radio show, and I think Joey left his breakfast. Like they gave us breakfast at the show. You know, like aluminum. I mean, not aluminum. Yeah, the white aluminum things where you eat out of.
Yeah,
aluminum
like the
trays, kind of things. And Joey ate like 4 breakfasts, and he left one of them. And when we left, they auctioned it off to a fan for like over $1,000.
Oh my gosh.
They did say it was Justin's. So they got a little more money.
That
They
is
said it was mine or Joey's. They'd be like, I'll
funny.
give you a nickel for a pickle.
so when you were doing this as real life, you said you were spiraling. Like how? Was it just because
I was just in that.
in the height of your?
I was
Yeah.
in that weird phase where I was just like drinking a lot, which doesn't help because I came here saying I was hungover. I'm like, I'm still there.
At least you're
Or
honest.
Sally.
But you're also in Nashville.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
Nashville.
This is
Yeah, but I was
This
just
is
like drinking a
excusable.
ton, and it was just like not a good time for me. I probably shouldn't have been on TV at all, and Sally Jessy like called me out for it. And it was like very awkward. Everyone's like, leave her alone. She's in her 20s.
I love that. That's how the audience sounds.
Leave her alone.
I always had this preconceived notion that she was just like this awful woman. Then when I saw that show, I was like, she's amazing. Then I saw like your relationship with her.
Yeah.
She's a sweetheart.
Who's that?
Tammy Faye Baker.
Yes,
Oh, Tammy.
R.I.P.
Yeah, Tammy,
But
yeah.
she
She was great.
people were like, are you sure that she didn't know like the whole scandal with her husband as far as like stealing money and everything like that? I watched this woman. We worked at Mel's Diner on Sunset for like something.
Todd Bridges.
Yeah, Todd Bridges, exactly. She couldn't even work a calculator. She did not know that her husband was funneling money from the church and
Yeah.
everything like that. She just didn't know. And so I got to know her. She's a lovely woman. I still have like letters from her
That's
and
sweet.
everything. Yeah, she's so sweet.
What'd you think of Todd Bridges?
I liked him a lot. I
He's
still like
amazing.
him. I think he's great.
He's amazing.
Yeah, I saw him on Big Brother and I thought he did amazing.
You did a show with him, didn't you?
Big Brother.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Brother with
Wait,
him.
was Shayna on your season
Yeah.
too?
Shayna actually just texted me when I was out in LA. I love Shayna.
Me too. I was hanging
love
out with her
Shayna.
not too long ago.
Shayna
I think-
Moakler.
I think I'm gonna do. Yeah, Shayna.
Former Miss USA.
I think I'm gonna do the Miss USA pageant with her this summer.
Well, I'll be honest with you too. The reason I was talking about the reality was when I did Celebrity Big Brother a couple years ago. Shayna saved my life. Like if Shayna wouldn't have been on there, I would have
You would've
pulled the
left.
ripcord way before I did. Like I pulled the ripcord on myself because I was like, this isn't. I love reality TV. I love Big Brother. I love Survivor. I love The Challenge. I love all these shows. But being on them
Yeah.
is a different beast. Like it seems like you have to have something in you to be good and to compete. Like you've got this thing, which is very admirable that you have, that you can do those things. You can be out there like that. See, I'm more reserved in that aspect. Like,
Right.
I don't want my whole shit out there.
But you're a showman too. So like whenever you go out on, you're like out on stage and you're performing, and then you get to go back and like do, have your personal life.
Right.
For me, my personal life was on TV, so I'm
Right.
used to it. Did they give you phones? Like how often were you able to?
No, we had nothing.
Wow.
Did you have
They-
on
that
Traitors?
is- 10 minutes a week I got
Yeah,
to call
Traitors
home.
was a
Wow, how
little
many weeks
different.
were you there?
4.
4 weeks. Wow.
Yeah.
In Scotland.
I didn't even need it though. I was so dialed in.
Can I
I was
just
just like,
say-
wait, I have a husband?
What did I do? What did they do on when you were on the Real World?
Oh, you were sequestered.
We had pagers.
Yeah.
We had to turn in our phone. We had pagers actually, and then they would
Did
page
you have a SkyTel?
What is that?
Yeah. What?
What is that?
Oh, this guy, maybe that's before your
Somebody's
time.
dating themselves.
Yeah, I'm dating myself. A little SkyTel where you can flip it up and have like a little, look like a little fat computer, but it was like
We
this
had a
big.
two-way
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Motorola two-way pagers.
Oh, yeah.
Those? Yeah.
But you had to turn those in. You couldn't have.
No, yeah, we had to turn in our cell phones and everything. But yeah, and then they took out, we had a bat phone, which it was directly to a producer. And every time we had to leave our threshold of our door in our house, in our hotel room, we had to call the producer and be like, hey, I'm going to go downstairs and grab like a bite to eat, or I'm going to go downstairs and do this or whatever.
Oh, right.
And they were like, okay,
Get
hang on, the
cameras
cameras
ready.
have to follow you.
See,
So it's just like 20 minutes to just get out the door.
And there's also something you don't realize on reality TV is there's no televisions.
Yeah,
Right?
or radio, nothing.
You can't have televisions and radio because they don't want you sitting there and watch. They're like, that's not good TV. You
Yeah.
watching TV. So they take out televisions. They take out radios.
Yep.
So it's a social experiment. So it's not really reality.
It's a big time social.
Right. Yeah. I remember Final Four, like the basketball was, and I'm a big sports fan, and so I was just like, can we please just like watch basketball? And they were like, okay, but you guys have to sit at different corners of the bar downstairs, and the cameras are going to be there. And if you start talking, we're going to make you guys, like, we're going to pull the plug and say that you can't watch TV. And we're like, okay.
What
Yeah.
hotel did you say? It was the Palm?
The Palms.
Palms.
Yeah. George Maloof.
George Maloof.
Shout out George.
I love George.
He's
George-
great.
he's awesome.
Everything
Yeah, I
from
miss that
So
guy.
We go from real world, but you did everything. And what you did, was it Girls Gone Wild, Playboy?
No, I didn't do Girls Gone Wild. Joe Francis wanted me to, and I was like, no. He was
Okay.
like, I'll pay you $30K for a week just to like go and get girls to like show their boobs. And I was like, this doesn't sound right. So I drew a line.
Can I just say that sounds like amazing? Pay me 30 grand to go get women to show their boobs.
So no Girls Gone Wild, but you did Playboy. You did show your boobs. The movies.
It's different getting somebody else to show their boobs. I wanted to show mine.
They were good ones. They were good ones.
Die.
Thanks.
I'm gonna die.
I mean, yeah. And then you went from there to, you've done film too.
I mean, I'm not a great actress.
He's a movie star.
What are you?
I'm not a great actor
What were
either.
you?
We do movies
know our
because they want.
strengths, like,
yeah, they want us to do the movies because they're like, oh, we have Trishelle in the movie.
Yeah,
we have Chris
I
in the movie.
was
You walk in,
terrible.
hi, I'm your Trishelle, your waitress. You may recognize me from my many movies or my many shows that I've been. They don't want you to bring in real actors.
basically play yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a amazing film called Ninja Cheerleaders. I don't know why we haven't won an Oscar for that. And then yeah, I did some like Dukes of Hazzard prequel, which I didn't know it needed a prequel, but okay.
What'd you play?
One of like the girlfriends showed my boobs in that too.
Wait, that's two dings.
Yeah.
Let's do movies. So you go from that, and then this kind of like put you in this position to do Traitors 2. When you're doing Traitors 2, you were freaking prepared.
Yeah.
Were you, when you got the call to do this, were you like, okay, I got to strategize? Did you watch all the other shows?
I did. I was actually already watching season 1, I believe, whenever I got the call, because I just like these types of strategy shows, and I'm a big Suri fan. And so I watched season 1, and then I started watching the Australia, the UK, and everything like that. And then, I don't know. But here's the thing about Traitors, is that you have to kind of flow with the game. You have to constantly change your plan as people are getting murdered and banished, because your biggest allies, as you saw with me, like my whole alliance was getting picked off one by one. So every time someone left, I had to regroup and see what I was going to do the next day.
Okay, so this is the next question I had. Did you and CT have this plan before coming
No,
in? Because you were a different group.
everybody asked that. This is so crazy. My stepmom is like still pissed at me because she thinks that I like ruined MJ's life, and I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, but she needs to get over it. It's just a game.
Yeah.
But you did win the 100 and, what was it, 110,000?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But honestly, no, we did not plan this
Yeah.
ahead. The first day, Johnny, Bananas, and me and CT were kind of like, okay, like it would be cool if we all made it to the end. But, you know, unfortunately, Johnny Bananas,
The first day.
Thursday,
Was he-
he's still mad at me.
He's got to be pissed off.
Now, when you do those shows, what do you think is your real draw? Because you've got the fame, you've got the money, or you've got the game. Like, which one of those three things do you go in and going, I'm doing this because I love the game, I love the competition, or I'm doing this, I want the money, or I want to do this because I want to be at Saddle Ranch and get noticed again, or like what really is it that makes you?
It's more of the experience.
So it's the game kind of.
Yeah, the game and the experience, and also I'm very underestimated, I feel like, as a player and a strategy person. And so I play poker, I do all these things, and like you've seen on the show that people didn't listen to me at all, and I had good ideas, they just didn't want to listen. And I don't know if it's the way I look or present myself that they think I'm a little bit more dim than I am. So I kind of went to play this game, and I was really proud that I won because I had a plan the entire time.
Because
Took
all
notes.
those need the strategy. Like even
Yeah.
the challenge, it's about the challenges, but there's a lot of people that make it through that aren't very good at the challenges.
Yeah.
They're not the big guys you're going to be like, "Oh, that guy's going all the way because he's going to win everything." Nobody wins everything.
Yeah.
But the challenge part of it, so that's what really draws you, and the experience of being out there and having fun and being with people that you know from these shows.
Yeah, that's what it is. And then, so, I mean, Phaedra from The Real Housewives, I'm a huge fan of her. She's amazing. And so I was like, oh my God, I get to like do a show with Phaedra and meet her. And she's really cool. She's actually the same off camera as she is on camera, which I love. So yeah, they had 4 housewives there. They had Deontay Wilder, who was like a huge professional boxer.
Very emotional.
Guy from, he is very emotional.
Very emotional.
Guy from the UK Parliament. Like, when am I ever
That was
gonna
pretty awesome.
have
John?
all these different people in the same castle together that I get to spend time with? And so, and there was a lot of downtime on this show that we got to talk about our personal lives. So I really got to know everyone.
The
No.
host, Alan, what's his name?
Alan Cumming.
Alan
Yeah.
Cumming.
Every reality
Yeah.
show, when you're done, are you like, okay, guys, we got each other's numbers, we'll stay in touch, and then you stay in touch for about a month, 2, and then you forget about them? Is that?
I didn't like all of them.
I feel like I'm in the process of that right now. I'm like, I have like some people that I talk to a little bit more, but then I have like my besties, like Janelle, Peter, Tamra from The Real Housewives,
CT?
Fergie, CT, obviously, like, yeah.
There was the only time I ever watched a competition show where I was like happy with the outcome. Because I remember I was hitting you up. I'm going, they're getting rid of everyone I hate.
It works right to my advantage.
it was great.
It's not for great TV, but it works for me.
Especially like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, hey, Juan, I gotta go to bed.
That's so funny because Andy Cohen had told me too. He was like, I cried whenever UNCT won. I'm like, really? Like, it was that emotional,
It was
I
pretty
guess.
emotional, yeah.
But yeah, I want to ask you something because you said that there was like, you saw some like tension. People think that CT and I were like hooking up. I'm married. But
No,
like,
I didn't say it. No, you're married to John. He's a pilot. It was a
Hey,
retired.
John.
Hey, John, big name drop.
Very handsome couple.
He's cute. But a lot of people ask me that. Andy asked me that too on Watch What Happens Live. And I was like, no, I guess that's like a thing. People think that.
No, it's not even just the thing that we think you're hooking up. It's just it's what I exactly said to you was if you weren't married and he wasn't in his situation. I don't even know what a
Yeah.
CT is. I thought he was married. I would have thought you two were together because there was so much chemistry between you two.
Yeah,
It was.
I guess-
You don't really see that ever in reality television because a lot of times, a lot of the contestants or whatever kind of play it up to the camera. It was
Yeah.
pretty damn real.
Yeah, but
That's right.
chemistry is chemistry.
Like we
It's
have
not,
great chemistry.
We do not have.
We have the best. Like
when I did Celebrity Big Brother, Shayna and I, Shayna and I
Yeah,
had
like, you just
great,
find somebody
great
that
chemistry.
you're
She
good
had a
friends
boyfriend.
with.
I'm married. There wasn't any, it wasn't sexual at all. It was she
Yeah.
is such a great person. We have so many friends in common. And you just find somebody and you latch on. And
Yeah.
especially in those circumstances,
It's
go
true.
back and watch
he
a
was
lot
like
of-
my brother. Like, really.
you need that.
Yeah.
And like I was saying about Shayna I remember telling her after the show too, I was like, there were times where the show just stresses you out and you think that everybody hates you and they're out to get you and you can't trust anybody. I said, some of the best days I had was when I'd walk in somewhere and I'd look over and Shayna would just smile at me.
Yeah.
Like that's how crazy it
Yeah.
is. It's those little,
She's so
but those
sweet.
little moments.
It's always
are-
a look. Like he looks at me. Sometimes we'll sit down, and I know it's going to be a good show. And sometimes I know where his heart's at, and sometimes I know that he's having a rough day. So I put a little pat on the back, rub his
Aw.
shoulders, and then everything's going to be okay. But he just gives you that look, that side eye.
Yeah.
See, he gets emotional whenever I talk about him.
I'm throwing up in my mouth.
That's chemistry. But that's what I saw with you and CT.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we definitely had that. And then whenever he didn't light my torch at the ceremony, I was like a scorned woman. I was like,
Well,
Yeah.
you wrote MJ's name down,
I wrote his name
you wrote his name down first,
and
and
then MJ.
and then MJ, and then he wrote
CT's not an emotional guy, but he definitely was emotional when I wrote his name down. And I saw the look on his face, and I was like,
Can't do that twice.
oh my God, yeah, I can't do it twice. And even if he is a traitor, I'm going to give him the $250,000. I don't care. I don't want to see that look on his face ever again. So yeah, it was, I'm glad it worked out this way.
Well, we're proud of you.
Thank you.
They won.
Appreciate it.
They won. They did it.
Joe.
The good guys win.
So what's going on with you now after all this? 'Cause I see you everywhere. You're on
Yeah.
everything. You did what?
Watch It Happens Live.
It's gotta be fun.
It was so much fun.
Andy-
I love
Andy
Andy.
Cohen?
I've known Andy since like 2005. I did a Celebrity Poker Showdown show that he was the executive producer on, and so yeah, I did that. So speaking of poker, I'm actually going to be going to Costa Rica with ACR Poker, and I'm going to be getting back into poker. I'm going to be playing a big tournament there and doing some online poker things. I'm also going on this fun cruise called the Cruise of Deception. If you guys like happen to want to come,
I wanna go.
it's going to be
Where
a
is it?
murder mystery cruise. It's out of Fort Lauderdale, and it leaves in April 2025. So you have like a year to plan that. Me, Sandra, Janelle, Bergie, Peter, some people from season 1, possibly Cerise. So yeah, it's gonna
You
be
got
fun.
like a really hot best friend too that she was in your wedding. Brittany.
Kristen. Oh, Brittany. Yeah, she's coming with me.
Oh my God, she's another. She was from America's Top
America's
Model.
Next. Yeah, she did it twice.
She's coming. It's gonna be like a boat filled with like hot girls.
Yeah.
Chris.
Sounds miserable.
We can't go.
Horrible.
It's gonna be awful.
Yeah, so I'm just going to be traveling. I'm so open to doing other shows. I have like a couple interviews that I've done for more television. I would love to do a Bravo show though. I think that in New Orleans it would be like really cool.
What kind of show?
So they used to film Southern Charm, New Orleans,
I love that
and
show.
my friend Tamika Lee is on it. She's gorgeous. So she's like my friend in real life. So we actually would be good on TV together, I think. So I think they should bring that back. I don't know. I'm gonna text Andy.
So if that's the kind of show you would want back, like a Southern Charm, or would you like have a Trishelle show, kind of like Anna Nicole Smith?
Trishelle's Southern Charm.
Kind of like Anna Nicole Smith.
No, I'd be like,
that
did
didn't
never
do well.
No, it actually did really well.
Well,
When she didn't do
But
she
yeah.
didn't do well.
No, but I'm saying like if you called Andy like I want to do a show called Trishelle or Trish.
I don't know.
I think there's something to, what you bring to the table, what you offer. Like people love. I mean, look at the Housewives.
Yeah,
Like it
that's-
started out as wives of famous people, and just what they did. Like you lead an interesting enough life to where you go out and you hobnob with celebrities, which we still want to hear more about. And, but you lead this life that people are curious and they're like, man, that just sounds like, oh, I'll be in Costa Rica next week. I'm doing this cruise and I do that. I'm going to Scotland to do Traitors.
Well,
It's like,
Thank you. I appreciate that. But also, it's kind of like I didn't think in my mid 40s that I would be ever relevant again. And I was completely fine with that. Like, I was like, I had my husband calls it my heyday. He's like, back in your heyday. I was like, yeah, okay.
What's interesting, like when you go hang out with Chris. And
my son calls it the olden days.
The other days. But you get
soul crushing.
We have a mutual friend, Stephanie, in common in New Orleans, and she was telling me every time they all would hang out, you would get mobbed everywhere you go. It's because you essentially been on our television for the last 2 decades.
Yeah.
And it's just like hanging out with him too. It's like everywhere we go. And then
Until
Yeah,
I hang out
of
with
course.
Joey, and then I'm holding the camera going, can I get a picture of Joey?
he says we're in Omaha, my hometown, and we're doing this thing for our show. And he sees me and he feels sorry for me, and he goes, Brian, get in here for the picture.
Oh, I know, that's the worst.
And I'm like,
right?
It's like your brother.
Nobody else.
I'm like holding his purse. I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, come in. And he like says to me afterwards, he's like, I'm like Justin. You're like me.
Yeah, but nobody does that for me. Joey will hand me the camera. If I'm with Joey and there's somebody comes up for a picture, he'll hand me the camera and go, yeah, hey, buddy, can you take a picture of me and this person?
That's the worst too. But like I just feel reality is so different because like I said earlier, we are not paid the same as like what you guys were, and still getting recognized is kind of hard. But yeah, I would definitely do another show. I'm so open to it. Especially if my husband could come along, because I think he's pretty interesting too. We actually did film a show together, but I don't think I'm allowed to say because
Okay.
it's airing in a couple months
Is it
on
OnlyFans?
Bravo. No.
No, you see, we're allowed to say. I didn't know if you.
No, not that I'm against OnlyFans. It's just make your coin. But I'm not doing it. Nobody wants to see me anymore. Just Google me, my Playboy.
Wait.
In my heyday.
My heyday.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about too earlier. That's tough when, when you go out and people recognize you in the most random circumstances. I mean, I've had friends that, have done things and then they don't make the money anymore, so they had to go get a job somewhere.
Yeah.
Or I hate when people shame and do like the job shaming or things like that, because it's like everybody's trying to live their life and support.
Yeah.
Just because they were here for a minute doesn't mean that it's any different. Because I mean, I could imagine getting on a plane and you're like, oh my gosh, that's Trishelle. Are you sitting right here? Yeah, that's me, 27B. Could you guys both move over? Because I'm in the middle seat. It's like, it's got to be weird and yet cool, because you're like, man, these people recognize me, but I hate that they look at me like, ah,
exactly. But I mean, in my everyday life, I am like a normal person. And
I find that very hard to believe.
I can't believe that. No.
Your normal life.
What normal stuff do you do?
No. Hold on. I believe you do normal things, but I don't think at any point did somebody go, "Oh, Trishelle, she's just a normal person."
You're like a New Orleans socialite, correct?
You're Trishelle doing normal things.
I do
a lot of the New Orleans stuff.
Yeah, I guess I don't do anything normal. I'm like, do I do laundry? Nope, I don't do laundry. My husband does laundry. I don't.
Does he really? Does he cook?
You cook.
I cook, but like he does most of it now because he's a better cook than I am.
I thought his gift to you was the MTV painting.
Oh yeah, that beautiful painting.
Dope.
Yeah, it was so cool. He got it in Park City. We were there snowboarding, and I saw that picture, and I was like, MTV, my roots, I need that. And he was like, okay, like he played it off that somebody had. He actually told me that Johnny Bananas bought it. I was like, oh, Johnny Bananas, he comes back to bite me in the ass again.
Okay, since we got into all the people that you worked with that you do like, and I know you like Johnny Bananas. It's like a brother. You love him,
right?
Yeah. Who out of the last 20 years, who don't you like still to this day? Don't be nervous.
I keep doing that here. Well, but yeah, I was.
There you go.
Who don't I like? You know who was
the
kind
nemesis when you're in your 20s.
You know who was kind of difficult to get to know during the Traitors? And it's not that I don't like her. She's just like a tough personality
Peppermint?
to get along with. No. I like Peppermint. It was Larsa Pippen.
Larsa, yeah. She's my least
just
favorite.
like a little bit hard to get to know. I was, because Marcus Jordan is her boyfriend, and I think
That's
that
Michael
he's
Jordan's son?
Yeah, and I think that he's amazing. And I was just like, I was like,
Sorry, that's an inside.
Your boyfriend is so cool, and he's so great. She was just like, oh, so you want to fuck my boyfriend? Like, she was kind of like that.
She
And
said
I was
that,
like,
or-
yeah, and she was like, I'm just joking, but it seemed like it wasn't a joke. It was kind of weird, and so I was like,
I'm just
no.
kidding, but don't.
Yeah, I was like, no. So yeah.
If you can get like new Jordans out of it.
Yeah, I should. I'm gonna have to ask him for some new Jordans. I'm trying to think who else I don't like. Like,
From real world, anyone?
no.
Is there anybody that you see and you understand how either the way they could have been portrayed wrong, being on all those reality shows, you're like, man, I wasn't that person, or I didn't really feel that way. I'm sure there were times where you watch back and you're like, that was not even what was happening, or that was like they're taking that out of context.
I feel like I'm so misunderstood. You know me.
Oh, yeah.
On a personal level. And so like, like my heart and everything. And I feel like people just don't really get it. I think I'm just like maybe not likable sometimes on camera. And I get that.
Especially if you're playing a game.
Not everybody understands it. Yeah, it's kind of hard. When I get in game mode, I'm a different person. But my whole thing is like CT and I could make the same exact moves, but he is judged differently than I am. Women are judged so harshly. And it's like, if I do it, it's not strategy, I'm just a bitch.
You're just
and
being
if he
catty.
does it, he's really smart.
Right.
Because he's a man. And like, men obviously would make this decision.
Men
and
are
so
smarter.
I
Well, but
really
we know
hate
that's
that.
true.
Men are smarter.
Men are
smarter.
definitely.
Right,
Yeah, we're all
okay.
smart.
Don't write us saying that.
don't put that in
So
there.
we're just joking.
But they are. Like, they tend to be smarter.
What?
Yeah.
Woman of a certain age about to smack you.
That is not true. So what are you going to do after this? You said you have a cruise.
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing a lot of poker cruise. My husband and I own some like real estate properties, so I kind of like, that is my everyday life. I kind of manage that. So yeah, that's what I do in every day. I'm involved in a lot of charity work in Louisiana, so in New Orleans. So I'm on a lot of committees and stuff like that.
What-
I mean,
do you have
just
any of
kind
those
like-
crazy stories that it's just like if you're managing you're doing something like that and you walk up and they're like blown away that it's you?
Yeah, sometimes. But I thought you were gonna ask me crazy stories about guests. I'm like,
No,
oh,
yeah,
yeah,
no,
we have
no.
like people that are kind of like prostitutes. I've heard like.
No, that's
You have rental properties
that's
that you
our
rent out to
second show.
prostitutes?
No, well, look,
Anger
I
Airbnb.
didn't know that was going on, but it happened apparently, and
Is it an hourly rental property?
No, it was right by the weed
somebody
plant.
just,
Oh, it's so weird.
It was just our person who manages it on site was just like, I'm pretty sure that there were prostitutes and drugs in there, and I was like, wait, what?
There's still drugs in there?
Our friends are still
I'm not
here?
a slumlord, guys. I promise.
It's like, so if you're a prostitute in the New Orleans area, hit up Trishelle and her husband, John.
And if you like drugs,
Oh my God, yeah.
how well do you sing?
Sing? I sing a little bit, but mostly like drunken karaoke. See, like, we should go to Broadway tonight. Do they have karaoke there?
They've got
do have-
great.
they have
Yeah.
Miss
karaoke.
Kelly's has
Yeah.
good karaoke. Yeah, there's a lot of places.
This place is so fun. Like, I die over Nashville. There's a lot of people that are leaving LA. Like, LA's over, right? It's like
No,
I
it
feel-
can be back again.
Trishelle walked
They don't
in.
have to come here. They can stay.
Here's my thing about
In
LA.
LA.
Back in the day, when I was in LA, it was like Lindsay, Paris, Britney showing cooters coming out of cars, all this other stuff, and it was like super fun, and people went out to clubs. Now it's like, what are they doing? They're drinking green juice at Earth Cafe. Like, I don't get it. No one goes out anymore.
Yeah.
Wait, by the way, did you ding on Cooter?
No, I just kept dinging. Cooters. Hey, Cooters. We could ding in Cooters.
I mean, I just don't understand what people do now. It's so weird. Like when I was showing my husband around LA recently, and I was just like, yeah, and we used to like go to that club and this club, and he's like, it's boarded up. Like, what do you
Yeah.
mean? And he's like, this place is not what
Completely
you
different.
Same.
said it was. And I don't know. Everything's like closed on Melrose. I don't understand.
Back in my day, this used
Back
to
in
be
my
a
day.
7-Eleven.
Cooters.
What was that? At that time, too, it was that transition from paparazzi just with cameras to video.
Yeah.
So things have changed now.
Yeah.
Because everything
oh,
immediately
yeah.
just
so
goes
people
out.
are scared now.
Well,
Yeah.
that's one good thing about Nashville, though, is they've kept the paparazzi kind of at bay, so everybody can just be themselves. And you
Yeah.
go out here and you run into random people you would never expect because they just enjoy going out. I mean, you hear like certain things that'll happen here every once in a while at a bar or something like that. But for the most part,
Everyone
you don't
leaves
get
alone.
out and there's not cameras waiting for you like there is in LA and other New York.
I know. I was just like randomly at dinner last night, and one of the guys that came to meet one of my friends was just like blah blah blah. And like when I worked with Taylor Swift and blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
whenever I was
That's a big one.
hanging out with Kid Rock, he like put Donald Trump on speaker, and I was like, wait, who are you? It's so weird. It's just like some random guy that I met
So he was getting ready for the show.
for the show.
for
Yeah,
name drop.
Just all in one,
Name
all
drop,
in
yeah,
one
I
little
guess. I
conversation.
should interview this guy. Yeah, he's good.
Having like do all that. Do you sing? Can you sing?
I just,
Why? Do you want me
No,
to
because
sing
that's where he was
something?
going with this.
yeah, we're
That's
gonna sing.
Okay, what do we sing?
We're just, it's easy.
I'm terrible.
Name drop, name drop, name. No.
So I just say name drop?
Name drop. Yeah, just like that. Name drop.
Name drop.
You got
There you go.
Time. Oh wow, she's got a good
Ready?
voice. This
One,
is embarrassing.
2, 3. Name
Drop. That's
What
it?
is wrong with you
Yeah,
today?
I don't. You're just flat.
Dude, this is the flattest I've ever been.
No, I'm pretty sure it's not. You're fine.
I want to do
She's
the
not
Masked
flat.
Singer. Like,
that's
that
fun.
sounds so fun because
That's
it's
fun.
basically
He
just
did
like karaoke and
Yeah.
like.
Well, the people that work the Masked Singer too are some of the best production
Really?
of. Well, I mean, I've done a lot of great
You the
production
hummingbird?
shows. I was the hummingbird. I was the hummingbird with big wings strapped to my chest and my diaphragm,
love
and I
that
opened them. And
show.
it's fun.
So fun.
It's fun, and they take care of you. And
Everyone really sings though.
Oh yeah, you have to really sing.
That's so cool. Yeah.
You can do it.
Well, let's try it one more time.
Name drop.
Name. What is wrong with me today? I can't even get anything. Ready?
Name drop. Name drop. No.
Name drop. Name. Name drop.
Name drop. All right. Name drop. Let's do it lower.
Okay.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. Name drop. That's better. Maybe it's just out of your.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe you're a baritone.
I'm something.
You are something.
I'd like you to be a tenor.
Thank you for doing the show.
15.
And if
you.
Chris and I are ever in the New Orleans area, can we come hang out with you and John?
I would love that.
Yeah.
Please come over. It
You
would
would
be
see,
so
like,
much
her life
fun.
is
Go to the
so-
casinos.
Yeah,
Go
see
to.
her
Yeah.
hotel, her brothel.
Yeah.
My brothel.
Yeah. Can we stay in your Airbnbs?
I want to do
Sure.
Bourbon Street with you.
Yeah, Bourbon Street would be fun.
You guys, we should go out tonight.
Have some
Oh, no.
hurricanes, some
100%.
grenades, hand
I'm down.
grenades.
You are not down. I
down.
texted you last night. You're like, I'm in bed.
Come meet us over at the whatever
Are you
this
boring now? Is that
place.
No, I'm not boring. I just had work to do. I had to prep for the show.
Okay.
I had to watch your show.
He said I have to get up early. I mean,
I didn't I? I mean, but I didn't even. I've been up since 2:30 this morning.
Name drop.
It's great. It's just my crack.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for being on.
Oh, love you guys.
Name drop.